Okay. Well, welcome everybody to the VirtualJobShadow.com webinar. We are thrilled to have Michelle or Shelley Denavant here with us today. She's a sales manager at Striven Media and works a lot with this platform of VirtualJobShadow.com. So she is here to give us a demo today, and I'm really excited to see what this tool can do for all of you and the pre-employment transition services that you can perform with them. So I will pass it over to Michelle, and thanks again, Shelley, for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate the invitation, and I appreciate you all taking time out of your day and allowing me the opportunity to show you our platform. I'm happy to answer questions. I know you mentioned that it may be easier with a group this size to do it at the end, but you can certainly type them in now, and I can answer them as we go through. But yeah, so I'm going to just jump in, kind of show you what our platform entails, all of the different features and content and everything available, kind of all the benefits that it offers. And like I said, if you all have questions, I'm happy to answer them at the end. So this is the main landing page, and this is where you would enter as an administrator, a teacher, a case counselor, anything like that, and this would be your screen. The great thing is that your clients and students also see the exact same thing you do, with the exception of this last tab. So instead of it saying admin for your clients, it would say my assignments. So anything that you want them to be able to access that you would assign to them, they would click a button here that says My Assignments, and I'm happy to show that screen as well. Meanwhile, I will just jump right in to kind of talk to you about, we're essentially a career exploration and readiness tool, but we also offer other functions and features as well as content that you can create as you go along as well. So we're really flexible in the nature of what we do, especially with the need for virtual information in the era that we're in at the moment. But as I said, we started, as our name suggests, with our job shadowing videos, and our entire library is housed under this Careers tab. So if you click the Career Central, that's where you will find our library of videos on job shadowing. And what makes us a little different in how we differentiate are a couple of ways. So our company was founded by someone, she was an Emmy award-winning producer for ESPN and other outlets. And so her love and her passion really lies in video production. So the quality of our videos are uncontested, and as well as the other differences is that we really feature people and their career. So rather than sitting across the desk from someone and talking about what they do, we really get into the job itself, follow them around for the entire day, so that your clients and students can really get a feel for what it's like to live a day in the life of this person. So as you can see, the video is kind of running in the background. It's actually not playing. In order to play the video, you would click the play button. I won't do that here today just because of the internet bandwidth and that type of thing, and we're through a different program. But when you go on, you would just click the play button. All of our main videos are somewhere between 3.5 to 5 minutes long, so we really keep the attention span. We don't drone on and on. We edit the videos that we compile from the whole day of following to get the most important and integral pieces. So you see both the collaboration piece of people working with their coworkers, as well as what they may do in the field if they're in an outside position as well. We do offer closed captioning as well in both English and Spanish, so you can certainly have that option. And then we also, our whole site works with both JAWS as well as Google Read and Write. So if you need those, we certainly offer that as well. The other addition, within the next 2 to 4 weeks, our entire site will also be available. You'll be able to toggle if you want English or the Spanish version as well. I'm just going to go back to that main careers page to show you how you can search our different videos. So all of the featured will essentially come up initially, but you can also search by education level. So if you know that your client's going to culminate, or if they have an associate's degree, then you can certainly search jobs in that manner. Or if they have a master's degree or want to get a master's degree, you can certainly search by the education level. Or if they have a high school diploma and want to enter the workforce right now, they can certainly search that way as well. They can search by industry. So if they have an idea of what they might like to do but don't know the specific job they want, they could go into the particular industry that they are considering, and they can certainly click there as well and start to explore by the industry. I'm just going to go back to the featured page. You can also always check by our newest. That will show you the videos that we added recently. So whether we add about 2 to 5 videos every month. Last year, I think in total we added 75 new videos. So we're always continually trying to improve and add new content. So you'll want to check back there as well. You can also search by a specific job, and then we also did a disability series. So I always love this because we believe that everyone can work, and we want people to be able to see themselves in the workforce. And we also know that disabilities come in many forms, so whether it's a seen or an unseen disability. So we have someone who is a blind research associate, but we also have someone who has a chronic illness that you can't see, and someone who has dyslexia. So we kind of feature several different forms and different people, but we believe that everyone can work, like I said, and we want them to be able to see themselves in the workforce. So this is a great series that we did. You can always type in. I'm just going to jump back over to the featured filter. And again, we try to be incredibly equitable in our approach. So whether you want to be a bus driver or a chef or a cosmetologist or choreographer up to an aerospace engineer or pediatrician, no matter what your path is, we try to feature jobs across the entire range of careers that there are. So no matter what it is that you want to be, you should be able to find something in our site here that will show you what that job entails. Again, so when you click on one of our videos, it will take you again to that main screen. All of our videos will have supplemental videos down below. So these videos are anywhere from 30 to 90 seconds long. You can see that this particular career has only 5 supplemental videos, whereas some of our others have anywhere from 12 to 20 extra videos. So we have a wide range of how many videos that you're able to see for each particular career, just depending on how much footage we recorded and got when we were in the site. In addition to that, at the top panel here, you'll see that you can always add this to your careers or in your playlist for easy access again in the future under the careers tab. So you would find those here if you put a heart here or if you put a plus there. You can also take a pop quiz. We have a pop quiz for every single one of our videos that we feature. You just take the quiz. And this is a great way for your clients or students to interact right away. So if you just want them to start exploring without a lot of direction, tell them to pick their favorite 3 and then take the quiz so you know that they are interacting. Please don't judge me, I scored horribly. I need to learn the answers to all of our quizzes so I know them, but I just clicked on buttons. Hopefully they'll do much better. But again, you'll see here, then you'll be able to report upon this, but they can also see their results. It doesn't give them the correct answer, but it will show them an immediate score as well. And also to kind of promote literacy as well as for them to be able to create a digital portfolio. They can certainly keep a career journal so they can take down notes about what they learned on this particular career and then start thinking critically about the pros and cons within the job or any other questions or thoughts they may have had whenever they were watching the particular video. So they can save it as a part of their portfolio. And again, you can also run a report on this to see that they are interacting. So that's the main screen here. In addition to all of this, though, we also have the left-hand side screen for every single one of our careers. So when you click on the career description, it talks about the jobs and duties. This is much like you would find on a job board. So it talks about that, as well as the statistical breakdown about where they will find this type of job in the different fields, as well as a work schedule, or if there's any injuries and illness that's associated with this particular career, we'll also note that here. And then, of course, the required education. Do they need a high school degree? Does it require a bachelor's or a 2-year? Do they need a license, a certificate? They'll be able to find all of that information here under the required education. But my favorite part about this is the important qualities. So no matter what age they are, these are all skills that can be improved upon. All they need to do is start to hone in on these skills so they can prepare for a job in this particular field if this is something they're working towards advancing to. Usually, though, their favorite part, they all want to know, how much do they make? So the earnings tab will certainly tell them that. this will default to your state. So they'll be able to see the low, median, and high in comparison to the national wages for this particular career. It is career specific again. All of this tab is specific to this specific career as well. And then they can also see the future outlook. How much is it anticipated to grow over the next 10 years? And then we offer additional links. So if this is a career that they are really considering, this is a wonderful place for them to be able to start with reliable links that we have vetted, that they can find out more information. They can really start to dig in and learn more about this particular career as well outside of our platform. And so if college is their pathway, or that's just the route that they're going to go, then they can certainly look for colleges through here. Again, this would default to your state. They can change it. It is all a drop down. And if you're noticing that there's a particular college that you don't see here that's in Minnesota, that's again because it is specific to this career. So any college that offers a degree towards this particular career will then populate here. So you'll get different lists of colleges depending on the career itself. I'm just going to choose one here, whether it's a 2-year or 4-year, it will populate here as well. So it will give them a pathway towards that. And when they click on that particular college, it will then take them to the college's page. And now they can visit the college website. They can find some information about the population as well as the tuition and fees, how much it will cost them, as well as the SAT and ACT averages, if that is available. On occasion, you may find one that doesn't have that, but typically they are there. As well as for them to be able to now link to the online application as well as the financial aid website, so they can just click here to connect to both of those for this particular college. The other thing about our platform, it's incredibly intuitive. So not only is it easy to navigate, everything ties together in kind of a circle. So if you click on any of the majors, then you can then click on a particular major within that field, and it will populate every single video that we offer within that particular field. So you can certainly click on this at any time, and then this would allow you to connect back to a video for that particular career. And so again, it will show you the different ones within each field. So if this is a college that you actually see yourself going to potentially, or you like it and it's in consideration, just make sure that you put a heart there. What that then allows you to do is not only find it again under the colleges tab easily, but you can certainly compare colleges side by side. So this is a great way to kind of start to determine what's the best fit for you. So maybe the population will be, maybe there's 500 at one school or 11,000 at the other. Maybe the tuition and fees will be a factor, or those SAT and ACT averages certainly might tell you where you'd be a better fit. So it gives them a great way to start to compare side by side if that's their pathway. But again, I'm going back now to that video. So that was just the college search. Here is that jobs and internship, again, specific to the career video that we were on. And so if they want to enter the workforce right away, then they can certainly start to search for a career there. Again, it would populate your city and state. And it's very specific here. So it will populate whatever our video was titled. So you could certainly broaden the search. So you could type that. Or you also, your clients and students might want to actually begin to search to see if there's an internship available. So if they do that, that will show them all the current internships available within your region. And again, we interface with it Indeed. So everything is live and current. So when they click upon this, they can certainly apply directly from the site. So it will populate here. They would just click Apply Now, and that allows them to then apply for that job. And conveniently, under our Tools tab here, we have a resume builder. So they can certainly have that resume ready so they can certainly apply to those jobs. So I'm going to just jump there for a quick moment. They can just start building a new resume here. If they aren't certain what to put in a location, like objective, maybe they don't know what that is, they can hover over it and we tell them exactly what to put there. No matter what the field is, we have those buttons that they can certainly click on or hover over to find out that information. And just jumping back to the resume builder, once they have it completed, they can certainly download it into a Word file, and that way that allows them to change the template as well as the font and make it look really nice, so then they can then apply to the jobs that they're looking for, the internship. So essentially that's those first three tabs and a little bit of our tools tab, how they all kind of tie together. So you can access the colleges and jobs through each one of our videos essentially, and it also ties to that resume builder. The other thing I want to mention under the careers tab is that we also have life skills videos. So we actually added this about 2 weekends ago. This collection will continue to grow just as our job shadowing videos do. But these, we started with 35 videos about 2 weeks ago, like I said. We've added 10 since then, but these are the categories that they fall in. So whether it's soft skills or workplace intelligence or social and emotional learning, you can certainly watch these videos as well. These are about 1 to 2 minutes long, so again, it keeps the attention. It gives them really great tools to be able to navigate the workforce as well in different areas, whether it's collaboration or communication. And you can add these to lessons as well. So if they're relevant to what it is that you want them to search or to do, you can certainly incorporate these into a lesson. And I use the word lesson. We call it flex lessons, but that might be slightly a misnomer in that it can really be relevant for data research that you need for your organization as well. So again, those are those first three tabs. Your students have access the exact same way you do. And I'm just going to touch upon a couple of other things under the tools tab here. So I mentioned the resume builder, but we also offer an assessment piece. So if you want your clients and students start to research with a little more focus or direction, or if they're not really sure what type of field they want to go into and they need a little more clarity, we recommend they start here with one of our assessment pieces. We offer the Career Clusters Interest Survey, so you can certainly click here and then start the survey. And what that does is now it has a read aloud feature as well, or they can read the statement here, and then they just choose the emoji that meets the statement that they're looking at currently. So it will automatically advance as they choose the emoji. And then once they've completed that, you can see that it will save their results as they move along. If they can't complete it all in one setting, it's no problem. But once they do complete it, they'll get a results page. And what that does, it then groups all of their interests into the 17 career clusters. And so you can see here, those are the 17 career clusters. Anything with a 19 or above means that they have a strong interest in this particular cluster. And now they have a little bit more of a focus or a directed search in our videos. So essentially, the assessments piece is tying to that careers cluster or to the careers page here. It's just now filtering it by cluster and by that assessment piece that they took. So they can watch an overview video of that particular cluster to find out what it entails, or they can start to explore each individual career here by clicking on any one of these videos, which again, then will have all of that information I showed you earlier specific to that career. The other assessments we offer, so this first one is exactly the same as the second one. The only difference is the number of questions asked. So the easy is 85 questions versus 102 questions for the original. But the next assessment piece we offer is the ONET Interest Profiler. And this is based more on personality. And this assessment piece, once you complete it, it's a very similar assessment. But now it's evaluating it based on your personality and the Hollins-Reyes categories, which are RIASEC, and it groups them into those categories now. So whether you're artistic or whether you're social, you can now click on there to kind of meet your personality needs within a career and explore that way. And the last assessment piece we offer is the ONET Work Importance Locator. So when you go to this one, it's a slightly different type of assessment in that when you start it, it's a drag and drop. So you read the statement, then move it over to here, whether it's most important or least important. You evaluate each of those statements, and then again, you'll come up with the results page when you finish it. And now that groups it into whether you need support or recognition or independence in a career. It's what do you value in a job? And again, now you can go and start to explore careers that fit within that particular value. The last piece under tools I just want to mention is goal setting. So this works really nicely with IEPs as well as 504s or anyone that you want to create SMART goals with. So, no matter where they are, goal setting is a great way for them to be able to have a visual and have something that they want to attain. So you can work with short-term or long-term goals. They can add them as they go. Enter the name of the goal and the description, have them start to create those, measurable and specific goals or whatever the case may be so that they can really have a guideline. And then essentially those are the first 4 tabs. Let me just pull up the student view really quickly. I thought that I had it up, but I'm going to show you just quickly so you can see what their screen looks like. It's very similar. The only difference, like I said, is that last tab. And this is the student view. So you can see everything I've shown you so far, those first 4 tabs they have access to. Their last tab, though, says My Assignment rather than Admin. So I'm just going to jump back over to show you what you can do as an admin and when that My Assignment piece will come into play for your clients or students. So under the admin, I mentioned that you can certainly run a report on anything on our site. So whether it's those pop quizzes I showed you or the assessment piece or how many videos they're watching, really anything you want to know as an administrator or staff member, you can certainly find that information. So you just click on the pop quiz. Then you can put in a specific individual if you just want that information for them, if you're meeting with them individually, or if you have groups that you've created or grade levels, or a specific date range. No matter the case, you can find out whatever information you want. I'm just going to leave it defaulting as it is and click the Run Report button here. And that now shows me the first and last name of the student, as well as the pop quiz name. So which career did they take the quiz on? What was their score? When did they take it? And then again, you get this report in an Excel file, in a PDF file for individual results. The individual results will allow you to add it to their file or to their portfolio, whereas this export file will create an Excel file, so you can start to sort and filter through everyone that took it. You can also upload to gradebooks if you have that, or you can really start to sort and filter data that's relevant to your organization so that you can find out what's the most popular career or which one are they taking those quizzes on or which videos are they watching the most, where is the interest, and it really gives you a lot of data regarding that information. Again, you can also see an overview about how much time has been spent and how many times people have logged in, and then it will also show you the breakdown for the top clusters as well as the top careers specific to your organization. Which brings us to group. Creating groups is incredibly easy. You just create groups and then you type in whatever you want to name the group. I'm just going to make it simple and create a group here. What that does, every time you create a group, all you do is name it something, and that generates an easy code. It's an alphanumeric code that is specific to that group. And all you would do to have your client or student jump on to a group is give them that code. This is where they log in. At the bottom left, they have a place where they can just put in an easy group code, and they just put in that code and then save the code. And now they can see that they were added to a group, and then as an administrator or staff member, you just hit refresh here, and you can see that they've been added to the group automatically just by entering that code. But you can certainly add clients and students as well just by typing in the name here. So if you just type in that, you can start to see who's available and add people like that. Or you can go through the entire list that is available on your license and start adding people that way as well. And then you just save the group. And then you can find your groups easily again under this Groups tab. Which brings us to our last piece, essentially, which are flex lessons. And so this is the way that you can create information that you want to give to your client or student for them to take, kind of like homework or an assignment or survey. So you could do entrance and exit surveys to find relevant data for you, or you can also create assignments from scratch, which you would do here. But before we jump into that, I'm just going to show you, we have pre-built lessons as well. So under the Flex lessons and going to the VJS lessons, these are all of the lessons that we've created. We've been adding more to this area because of the need for digital content and curriculum. So actually we just released this one yesterday. We released these 3 last week. And then the 5 C's we released about 4 to 5 weeks ago, as well as we also have our social and emotional learning lessons here, as well as our career exploration and readiness lessons, and we also have soft skill lessons. So just jumping to one of them here, you see that this is one of our career exploration and readiness lessons. If you want to take a look and see what it would be to see if it would be something you'd want to assign, you just click the preview, and that will take you to the screen. So everything in red is what your student would see, and then you can go through the lesson. It tells you about what they're going to learn and what the components are. It then also tells them about the resume itself, what it is, what it should include, why it should have a specific format. They can go through this entire thing. You can see what they're going to be learning. Then they also watch a video about why it should tell a compelling story. And then we talked to them about the 4 different types of resumes as well. Before I started here, I didn't realize there were 4 different types, so I learned something. But you can also then have them visit this external webpage, which shows them the 4 different types and how they are formatted and why they look different and what it looks like. Then we start to talk to them about how to start writing their own resume, the steps that they should take and what they should think about during each of those phases, as well as taking a quiz, and then it culminates with them building their resume essentially. So that's what that lesson looks like. Again, it's specific to resumes because that's the one we clicked upon, but we have all of the other lessons as well. But if you look at this and you think, well, it's somewhat relevant, but it doesn't have everything that I need, or I don't like everything that it has. Rather than just clicking assign, you can certainly edit our version. So everything that we have, we give you the foundation. If you don't like it or you want to change something, you can clone it and make it your own. So we give you full editing rights. So you just click the clone button, then say yes, and now you own that lesson. So it's under the My Lessons tab here. It will always be at the top, the most recent one that you clone, and then you can just start to edit by clicking that button. And as you can see, you can change the order, so you just hover over these little arrows, or like I said, if you want to take out this quiz, you just click the 3 buttons and then hit delete. Or if you like the idea of a quiz, but you think that our questions are too easy or they're too hard, you essentially can go in and overwrite what we've written and change the text as well. So when I say full editing, it's true, like everything can be edited. You can change anything that we've added here. But if you also have an activity outside of our site that you would like to add, or if you want to add one of those job skill videos or one of the life skill videos, you could certainly add them from this section here. You would just go in. We have them organized this way, so you could go into that life skill video section, scroll through, or filter by topic. You can add whatever you want from our site, but you can also add from external sites as well. So everything in blue is what lives on VirtualJobShadow.com versus everything in green is what lives outside of our platform. So if you want to link them to a TED Talk, or if you've created a lecture on YouTube, or if there is a survey that you want to create, you would just click the survey and we'll format it for you. And here you see the different ways you can format, and you just type in whatever it is that you want to know. And it can be as many questions as you would like. Or you can really direct them to anything, a reading. Like I said, if there's an external link, if there's other curriculum or there's other information that you want them to know about, you would essentially just click that and add the link itself there. And so once you've built it the way you want, you can just go back to there. And what you would do is then hit publish. Once you've published, that will then allow you to share it with your other colleagues within the license, so other administrators as well. Or it also will now change this edit button to assign. So I'm just going to scroll down. Bear with me while I get done. I know there's a lot here, so bear with me a second. So you can see this one I have published. It's now changed that edit to assign. If you realize mistakenly you've published it and you need to change something, it's not a travesty. Don't worry, you can always clone whatever you've done. It will hold everything. You just now can clone it, create a copy, and change whatever it is that you need to. But like I said, once you've completed it the way you want and it's published, you can then assign it. We make that incredibly easy. You click the assign button, choose whoever you would like to assign it to, whether it's an individual or a group or a grade level, and then you assign, essentially hit create assignment. Once you've done that, it will then appear here that you've assigned it, and you would just click here to see how many times, and whom you assigned it to. So I assigned it 3 different times. One time I assigned it to 3 students, one time I assigned it to 2 clients, one time I assigned it to 1 person. And at any point you can manage this. So you just go into manage, and that shows you the progress. So whether they have completed it, whether they've started it. If they had started it but not completed it, it would say completed 3 of 9. So that's the number of activities within this particular assignment. And at any time you can just click view. If they had completed 2 but not the final one, this would say incomplete and there wouldn't be a view button there. But you can certainly open these up when they have completed. If it's something like a quiz, it will show you what has been answered correctly or incorrectly. It will also allow you to provide feedback. And you can certainly grade it once it's complete as well. So you could go in here, open it up, and see the different areas. And then you could grade it if you'd like to assign a grade or provide feedback. You can also switch between students that you assigned it to or clients that you assigned it to just to find out. So you might not need anything graded, but you might want to see their answers to a survey, which you can certainly do here as well. And essentially, that's kind of an overview of our site and kind of everything that it does. I'm happy to answer questions and show you anything that I haven't shown you currently. If there's something that you all have questions on, I'm happy to answer those now.
Well, Shelley, it's an amazing tool. You've thought of most everything, which is fantastic. And I love the customization that you can do on some of the curriculum. That's really cool. I do have 3 questions right now, but I just want to remind everybody on the webinar that please use the chat to send us your questions and or comments. We'll be happy to share those. So the first question that I have is involving those life skill videos that you showed. Are there quizzes and journal entry options for those life skill videos?
There are not quizzes. You can certainly, you have the closed captioning still available, but they're in a different format. So you can see this is how those appear. However, you can incorporate them into a quiz. So there's one here I saw a moment ago. It talks about grit. So we actually have a lesson about grit. So see this lesson, this video is not incorporated currently into a lesson, but if you wanted to utilize one of our Preva or you wanted to incorporate it into one of your own, you could certainly do that. All you would do is go here and then you could, again, clone that grit lesson that we have here. You would just clone it, and to be able to add that particular one. So we added these videos after we created this lesson, but you could certainly go in here, click that Add Activity button, and then you would just go in here to Videos, go to the Life Skills videos, and then you could search by grit if you wanted to, or by soft skills or social and emotional skills. The grit should show up, and then you could just click here by clicking the plus button to add that grit to that, and then save and close. And now you can see that we added that video here at the bottom.
Great. The next question I have is, they're coming in. With a subscription, is there a limit to how many students you can have under your admin profile?
So you would purchase by the number of students that you would like, and so it is based upon how many overall you all purchase. But there's no limit as far as admin, and there's no limit to students, so you all could purchase as many seats. It is by student, and so we would just need to know the number, but you can always add seats. But there is no limit as far as, I know this wasn't the question exactly, but as far as admins, the admins don't count against the number of seats that you purchase. So you can have as many students as you purchase for, and you can always add if you need more, and you can also have unlimited administrators on the license. Great questions, though. Thank you all.
Great. And Alyssa, feel free to jump in if you have any additional thoughts on that too.
Yeah, this is Alyssa Klein from Vocational Rehabilitation Services, and as you all know, we're able to purchase access for our providers and for our Vocational Rehabilitation Services staff, and I did put in the chat a link if you're a professional and technical contracted provider with VRS. You just click on the link and complete the survey. I will be getting back to everybody that requests subscriptions on how to access and how, I'll be working with VirtualJobShadow with Shelley on number of students and all of that. So we'll get you more information on all of that once we get everything set up. But the first thing we wanted to do is get the demo. The next thing we need is to get to know. We have a April 17th deadline for you to complete that survey. So once we know everybody that's interested in a subscription, we can get all the final details out to all of you. So more to come on that.
Perfect.
Great, thanks, Alyssa. The next question I have is, when you are showing the groups and adding people to groups, can the students actually see who's in the group?
They cannot actually, no, not currently. Only administrators can see that. The student just knows that they're in a group. And what the reason the administrators have access to groups is not only they can run the report by groups, so it makes it really easy for that, but also for the flex lessons, when you go into that assign button, let me just get into one that I can assign quickly. It allows you to assign to a group really quickly. So students don't know that they're in a group with one another because they are just assigned on their page, essentially. They'll see it populate here when you assign them something, so they don't know that they're in the group itself.
Got it. That kind of transitioned into the next question was asking about when you create that group, how does an individual, I know they have access to the site, and they were asking about, do they get sent a link, but those show up on their assignment.
Exactly, and the way they'll know if they have a new one is that will be red, and it will say however many assignments are new since the last time they visited, or how many they haven't started yet. So here you can see I've started all of these, so it's only showing one. They would know they haven't started the one in blue. The ones in orange, yellow mean that they've started it, and anything they've completed would be under this tab.
Great. I have another question related to the languages that this is available in. I think you had mentioned at one time showing Spanish, but are there other languages that this platform is available in?
Not currently. It is a question we're hearing more and more, and we are working. Once we have the Spanish translation built, like I said, when they said in about 2 to 4 weeks, that should be ready and to go. They're in the testing for development. They love it when I tell them that it's going to be ready like a certain time and they haven't finished, but they said it was safe to say 2 to 4 weeks at this point. But once that is developed, they said it will be incredibly easy for us to be able to translate into other languages from that point. So while we don't write at this moment, I anticipate having other languages available soon after. I can't give an exact date. I'm not sure all of the steps that it entails, but once we have the ability to toggle and create translations, I think they said there will be more coming in the future.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Somebody was asking, it was Jacob was asking if a recording of this webinar will be available, and it absolutely will. We'll be sending that out and sharing it on the external site in addition to sharing it internally within our VRS staff site. So there is a question from Michael of, are there any lessons that focus on trade jobs and how to access local or statewide apprenticeships?
There aren't currently, not that we've created. However, you could certainly create one if that's something, and it may be something. I know our next steps are what we're thinking. We've been focusing a lot on everything going on right now, so those are the last 4 we released. However, I know we have a STEM lesson here about that career cluster. I know one of our next steps is to create a career cluster lesson for every single one of the 17 career clusters. As far as being able to do the trades, you could certainly create your own lesson centered around that, add videos from our site that correlate with that, and allow them to link to anything that would be relevant in your area as well. Something I didn't mention, if you do want local links, however, not incorporated into a lesson per se, but just for them to have easy access to your site or to anything in Minnesota that would be relevant, you could certainly have local links posted here that are static that they can always access at any time as well. And you can also announce any internships, career fairs, job fairs. I realize those aren't happening at the moment, but if there's a conference or a career fair or something that you would like them to know about, you can also post on the work-based learning board here.
Great. James had a question. He said, you touched on a section devoted to students with a variety of disabilities. Can you elaborate?
Sure. So we partnered with one of our clients and did the whole disability series. We worked with them. And so when you go to here and you type in disability, this is our main area, our heart and soul, kind of our job shadowing where we began. So when you're in that Career Central section, you just type in disability. And that is the whole series of different people that we worked with that have disabilities. And so this will continue to grow as well. And so I know we just finished, not our partnership with them, but this particular series, but we will continue to focus on people with disabilities as well. The other place you can find information about disabilities is the Disability Spotlight, when we have these life skill videos as well. And so you would just click here to see information or more information about challenges they may have faced as they entered the workforce, or whatever it is that they are dealing with and how that's actually empowered them or made their career, made them define themselves better within their career.
Well, thank you for going over that. That's really helpful for, I think, people to have some other models of where people have had some successes in their disability journey. Let's see, Michelle is asking, do your job descriptions include physical requirements of the job?
Well, when you go in here, it should list, if it's something specific, like if you have to lift, it should tell you anything of that nature. So physical conditioning programs, and so it does in under the duties and responsibilities, it would talk about that. And then it would also maybe elaborate if it was something that needed, more physical ability or, even mental ability. It should go over that within the career description. It might not go into too much depth, but you should be able to see that here, as well as under the additional links. You could probably find out more information as well if that was required.
All right, and I have a question to Alyssa. How would a provider know how many seats they may need ongoing?
I can't answer that right now. We're gonna figure that out, and we'll communicate that with you, like how that's gonna work. So I can't answer that quite yet, but we will communicate that with you. So if you're interested in the site, fill out the subscription request form, and then we'll get you more information.
Thanks, Alyssa. And Alyssa just put that in the chat again with that link for the providers and to sign up for that. And then there was a question. Rachel said she loves this, but feels that maybe she might need just a little bit more training. And so the question is, will there be more training, or do you have something on site that shows demo videos or whatnot?
That's a great question. Yeah, I actually meant to touch upon that. So when you purchase, there are a few things that occur. So when you purchase, what will happen is you will have a full live training, like similar to what we're doing through webinar. You will have a dedicated account manager that will be working with you all. We'll need 2 to 3 point people for your license that can reach out to us. But essentially, you can invite all of the staff, all of the caseworkers, counselors, whoever you would like that will have access as an administrator. You can invite all of them to the webinar for the training once you sign on. And you would schedule that with your account manager. And then we touch base to tell you all of the new features and the new content that we're adding at least once a quarter, if not more. You can really establish that with your account manager to determine how frequently you want to be contacted. But we require or ask that we at least contact you once a quarter and set those meetings up. However, we also offer these 2 features. So if you go on to, when your main screen, when you actually have access, you can certainly watch our tutorials. We have a full 45-minute tutorial, but instead of having to watch the entire thing, you can certainly skip to the different areas that you just have questions about. So down here, and there should be a sidebar here, if I just X out of here and click on here. I think I started it earlier, but there would be a sidebar that populates that shows each of these sections. So that flex lessons, if you have questions, or the groups, reports, whatever the question may be, you can certainly just skip to that area if it's specific to that. You can also scroll through the other tutorials we have. Those are about anywhere from 2 minutes up to about 5 minutes long. And then we also have customer workshops. So once you become a client, you can certainly at any time, we offer workshops that last about 20 minutes or a little deeper dive into the top 4 sections. So that assessment piece, the Career Central, our Flex lessons, as well as the groups and reports. So at any time, you can see we offer these throughout the month. There are a few more that we're offering now than normal just because of everything going on, but you can certainly see we offer it at different days, different times throughout the month, and we usually offer about 10 to 12 in total, so you can always sign up for one of these, and this is every month we'll offer different workshops that you can join.
All right. David did have a question to say, is there a way to produce hard copy versions of this info? So
absolutely. So really anything that your student, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I said maybe if it's the curriculum or whatever that might be. So sorry, I didn't mean to.
Sure. Yeah, so this is the students themselves, when they go into these, if they want to print a copy of their pop quiz or their career journal, or really anything they've done, they would just go under the activity. And so again, this is the same for them as it would be for you. This will show them all of those different areas. Here are those PDF results that they can certainly print. And again, they can go in and print any of these different sections. They can also export it as well. Again, those pop quizzes, they can print that PDF. And the same is true for you as an administrator. You can certainly export the curriculum here, and that would export and generate a PDF file as well. Great questions, though. Thank you. And the same is true with the reports I showed you. Those reports will generate those PDFs and the Excel file as well.
This is Alyssa Klein again. There was a question about how our providers can bill related to VirtualJobShadow. This is a question coming up quite a bit right now with the times we are in and providing remote services. So I'll just say real quickly that there are a few different ways that our providers can be utilizing this tool and other, web-based tools. You can set up a session with a student that you are working with, and like a virtual session where you are both on the website together and you're helping to guide the student. Once you have access, of course, and also once you have access and you're able to get students into the system, you could be assigning them work to do on their own time. So you wouldn't bill when a student's in the system on their own time. However, you could do like a follow-up phone call or a follow-up virtual meeting with the student, and you could bill for that time. So if you were to be preparing a certain lesson in the system, prep time can be counted. You could send an assignment out to students, and again, if they're doing it on their own time, you wouldn't bill for that time that the student's doing it on their own. But anytime you're working on with the student, then you can be billing for that time. So hopefully that helps. I'm also going to be putting my email address into the chat, so you all can contact me if you have other questions after this webinar. Thanks.
All right. Any other questions that come to mind? I'm close to, I think, handling most of the questions. I'm just double checking. Oh, yeah. Joy is asking, is there an intro video for students to view to determine if this is an option they are interested in, like a mini commercial to send to youth in hopes of engaging them?
So we do, we don't actually when they begin. You can always, we currently have a marketing video, and I think, again, I might be slightly biased because this is where I work, but we have this 1-minute overview you could certainly send to them. I know that there might have been some difficulty with video. I'm going to attempt to play this. If we have difficulty, then I will stop it. Just let me know if it's not coming through. But I'm going to see if it will play. I didn't intend to play this, but they can certainly click here to get them kind of interested and excited and kind of know what we do.
Here's to the achievers, the trailblazers, the disruptors, the first to arrive and the last to leave, the ones who embrace failure as a means to grow. Passionate men and women paving their own paths to create a future they want to see. They take the road less traveled. They fearlessly pursue the unknown. They do more than just dream. They do. And in doing, they're shattering glass ceilings, tearing down stereotypes, pushing new boundaries, and making an impact on more than just the world, but in the hearts and minds of those who matter most.
So hopefully that played. Again, I apologize, I didn't intend to do that, so hopefully that played, but that's something that you could certainly direct them to. When you go to our main page, that will be available right there under that 1-minute overview. That would kind of let them see what we do or kind of give them an idea. It doesn't give them an overview like I gave you or see really the internal workings, but it does kind of tell them what it would prepare them for.
And Shelley, we had a great question about whether that video was captioned.
That is a great question. I don't believe that it is currently, but I can certainly ask for them to add that and see if they can add that.
That was great, because I think I know that some of the other videos looked like they were captioned within. I know we are captioning that video for the recording purposes, so hopefully we'll be able to embed that in there too. So, so if you're reviewing the recording, that should be available to you.
Absolutely. And sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. All of our other videos are captioned within the site itself. For some reason, they have not captioned that one, but I will definitely mention that because I think that that's definitely something we need to do.
Great. And thanks, Elise says thank you. And Elise, thanks for that, catching that too. Any other last questions for Shelley? Doesn't look like anything's coming through. So a couple things. First of all, I wanted to thank you so much, Shelley. It's an amazing platform for, I think, all of us to leverage in working with the students that we are and some of the individuals that we're working with. And so you've done a very comprehensive job showing us all the wonderful features that it has and what are opportunities. So appreciate that. And Alyssa also for finding Shelley and finding this platform and being willing to go to leadership to get this approved, because this is a really great idea for a tool that can move students forward in their career readiness and their career exposure and career work. So I do want to just mention too, there'll be a little bit of an eval before you close out on this webinar, so please give us feedback on it. It helps us know what we can do to help improve the experience or what things stood out for you, and further what to focus in on for meeting your needs. So with that, Alyssa, any other last words that you'd like to share?
No, thank you. Thank you, Shelley. Appreciate it.
Oh, I can't thank you all enough. I really appreciate you all letting me present, and I'm glad that you found us, and I look forward to working with you and your staff and your team, and thank you again. I can't thank you enough, and it's been great, and I'm happy to answer questions. So if anything arises that you need clarification on, or if there's anything I can answer between now and your deadline, I'm certainly happy to do that as well.
Yeah. Julie, I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you have an email that you want people to get in touch with, let us know, or you can verbalize that on the recording. I don't want to inundate you, but let us know if you have the contact information. Go for it if you have it.
I'm happy. I will put it right here. I'm going to type it into the chat so everyone will have access. If you want to coordinate with Alyssa as well, or if you want to email me directly, you can certainly do that. That is my email address. I will get back to you as quickly as possible. As you can imagine, with the name Virtual in our name currently, we have received a tremendous amount of interest, and I'm getting back to you all as quickly as possible. So if I'm a minute, just please forgive the delay.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we appreciate all the work that you do, and it's a great tool and great timing for us. So thank you, everybody, for attending the webinar. Let us know how we can help support you in the future. And with that, everybody have a good day.
Thank you all so much. You all have a wonderful day, and I will talk with you all again soon. Alyssa, I will coordinate with you and reach out soon.
Sounds great.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.